your neighbors across the country buy more food packages carrying this brand than any other in the world. And now, Borden's presents TV's newest and liveliest panel show, Make the Connection. And now let's meet our Make the Connection panel. The star of Life with Elizabeth Betty White, disc jockey, humorist Gene Clavin, Hollywood actress and singing star Gloria DeHaven, the Hollywood and Broadway star Eddie Bracken, our moderator, the bright young television comedian Gene Rayburn, and Borden's guest tonight, the Rumba King, Xavier Cugat.
The exotic South Sea Islands, land of blue waters, warm sun, swaying palms, and luscious, tempting pineapples. What wonderful pineapples grow here. Golden, sun-drenched fruit, ripened in the tropics till it's sweet and juicy. This is the pineapple you'll find in Lady Borden Tropic Isle pineapple ice cream. I never heard such compliments as I got last time I served this Tropic Isle pineapple. And no wonder. Every spoonful is just bursting with juicy golden pineapple. And Lady Borden is extra good because it's made with extra cream. Better be ready to serve seconds all around. Yes, Lady Borden Tropic Isle pineapple is just perfect when guests drop by or when you want to make a hit with a man in your life. Buy it where you see this new sign. Lady Borden. The finest of fine ice cream.
Tom Kennedy hosts the game of fill-ins and villains.
You pronounce it.
It's tomorrow starting at 7 on Buzzer.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another session of Make the Connection. Tonight our panel is going to try to make the connection between two or more contestants. And panel, you remember the rules, don't you?
No.
Sure you do. Cuando les consejos cada fase espero un momento de... Excuse me, Mr. Cugat. No, here are the rules. You may continue to question a contestant as long as the light in front of you is on. There it is. Now, when the light goes out, the contestant receives $25 and so on until he's accrued $150. Then the game is over.
Is accrued what?
Has accrued $150.
Oh, excuse me.
Okay, now that you're all clear on that, let's meet our first guests, please. Okay. Would you give us your name and tell us where you're from, please?
Ann Linkogle, East Alton, Illinois.
Ann Linkogle, East Alton, Illinois. And you, sir?
O.J. Hermes, Brighton, Illinois.
O.J. Hermes, Brighton, Illinois. All right. Now, for the benefit of our audience, let's make the connection.
Mr. Hermes is the vice president of a bank, and he accidentally locked Miss Linkogle in a vault for 8 hours.
I'd like to point out to you, panel, that at the time of the connection, Miss Linkogle worked for Mr. Hermes. And I'll give you this one link. This is something Mr. Hermes did to Miss Linkogle. And let's start the questioning with Gloria DeHaven.
Mr. Hermes, could you do this to me?
Yes.
Sure?
Would I like it?
No.
Oh. Well, do you do this to all your employees?
No.
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 Miss Linkogle, is that right?
That's right.
Miss Linkogle, if you worked for Mr. Hermes, did this happen during working hours?
Yes.
It did. Was it something like, did you get a raise or a bonus?
No.
Something you found in the suggestion box?
No.
No. Or did you enjoy it?
No.
No. That's $25 down and $125 to go. And here's Eddie Bracken with some
Mr.
questions.
Lomas, would this have anything to... Would it help us to know what kind of business you'd be in?
Yes.
It would. That would have the direct connection?
Yes.
Are you in some sort of a profession at all?
Yes.
Is it artistic work?
No.
Is it something that you would do with your hands, for instance? Creation of some kind? Or
No,
you work
it's
with
not.
your hands when you do this?
He does work with his hands, but not in the sense that it's a creative work, such as a sculpture.
Did you touch this lady in any way?
No.
That's $50 down and $100 to go, and now let's hear from Betty White.
You are in a profession like a doctor or a lawyer or something like that, Mr. Hermes?
No.
Do you work in an office?
Yes.
Is it an office with a lot of people well, almost any kind of an office would have a lot of people, but...
Sure.
I know an office that has one little fellow, but no, that is... a profession, could it be something like a bank or a store of some sort?
Yeah. It's something like a bank or a store. You're right. That's $75 down and $75 to go, and now here's Gene Clavin.
Mr. Hermes, is that the right pronunciation, sir?
Yes.
I'd like to make a loan. No, and this is something you did to this young lady that she didn't like, so it was a change in routine. Did you refuse to approve her paper-mate pen?
No.
Did you, was it something involved with the vault?
Yes.
Does she work in the vault?
No, not always.
No.
Not always. She wandered down there, perhaps?
No.
She was locked in there,
You're
perhaps?
pretty close to it. Yeah, she was locked in there. You've got it. Okay. That's right. Miss Linkogle was locked in the bank vault accidentally for 8 hours. Can you tell us briefly how it happened, Mr. Hermes?
Well, it was Saturday noon, and I set the time lock for Monday morning. And not knowing she was in the vault, I closed it. She was in there.
And once it's set, it can't be opened. Is that right?
That's right.
And what did you do when you realized that you were locked in there, Miss Linkogle?
Banged on the door.
You banged on the door. I don't blame you. I'd holler my head off, but nobody could hear you, could they?
No.
Weren't you wearing your combination at that time? I guess not.
It doesn't make any difference, actually. There's no way they could have gotten it open.
No, and then I turned the air vent on for air. It released the red light to show them that I was in there, and then they happened to see it.
I see. And then what'd you do?
Worked myself back into the phone and dialed operator, and she took over from there.
I see. And then he got the crew that built the vault, and they had to come through. Have you got the newspaper clipping that you showed me earlier? I understand it took quite a while to break through the concrete of the vault. That was the only way they could get in there to rescue Miss Linkogle. And in the local newspaper, the Alton Evening Telegraph here, Sure. They've got some pictures here of how the rescue was effected. There you can see in one of the photographs Miss Linkogle sticking her head through the concrete. Here you are. I guess you were pretty upset emotionally after they got you out and you shed a few tears.
That was my father beside me.
I see.
Gene?
Well, I think you're certainly very courageous and cool-headed, Miss Linkogle, and you, sir, did some fast thinking there, too, to get that crew up there and break through it. We're going to award you the $75 you did win from the Borden Company, and we thank both of you for being our guests tonight on Make the Connection. Okay. Good night.
Buried in receipts, invoices.
Okay, that takes care of that. Panel, are you ready to go with the second connection here? And may we have our next guests, please? Would you give us your name, please, and tell us where you're from?
Yes, Joanne Cottingham. I'm living in New York now, but originally from Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Joanne Cottingham, originally from Fort Wayne, Indiana. Now, at this time, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to present to you the second half of this connection. One of the most distinguished television entertainers in all of America, and a charming personality, too, one I'm sure you're going to be pleased to meet. We're very proud to present to you the second half of this connection. Would you come in, please? Hold it. Hey, easy.
I hope that's not one of my children.
Hey, would you like a glass of water? Calm yourself. Calm yourself. Easy. Tune in next Thursday, friends. We'll continue here. I'll drink the water. What the heck? Hello there. Here you are. glass of water? Attaboy. There you are. You
He
take the
doesn't act
water.
this way with howdy doody.
That's it. Have a break. Take the water. And there we are. All right, panel. I'll give you this link to start you off on. Incidentally, I want to present Buddy Manila, who is the handler. And, here's the link to start you off on. This is something Miss Cottingham does. I beg your pardon? Yeah. Oh, I beg your pardon. For the benefit of our audience, let's make the connection.
Miss Cottingham is J. Fred Muggs' babysitter.
All right, now, if I may continue here, this is something that Miss Cottingham does for J. Fred Muggs, and let's begin with Gene Clavin, shall we?
Mr. Muggs, I'd like to address this question to you, sir.
All right, are you listening, Muggs?
I say, Mr. Muggs. Sir, would it help me to know what you do, sir?
Yes, it would help you.
Question. Yes.
Mr. Muggs, if you would go ahead.
The time is up. What's the connection?
Cool off. I know you've had a strenuous time with us. Well, you don't like them, eh? Well, they've been awfully nice to you. Here you are. I believe you're upstaging me, Fred. A few more questions, just, to pretend that we're doing a program here.
Gene!
Yes.
My light is on, but really, I just don't think I can come around for a while.
I think I'm going to have to reveal the
else.
connection at this point. And this is it, panel. Miss Cottingham.
There he goes now.
Miss Cottingham is Muggs' babysitter. That's the connection.
What do you do for laughs?
Don't you find it rather strenuous, this occupation, Miss Cottingham?
Well, he isn't always this exuberant, you
He's
know.
not always this exuberant. What a pig. Oh, you're...
Actually, when he's home, he likes to watch cowboy movies on television.
He does. I think more than anything, this chimp digs water, man. Well, we certainly thank you for being our guest tonight, Miss Cottingham. We're going to award you the full $150, and our thanks to you from the Borden Company. Good night. Do you want to ask any questions you had in mind anyway, just for laughs here? Wow.
Are you related in any way?
No, not at all. We would like to point out to our viewers at this point, though, if you have any unusual connections, such as, maybe you waltzed with a bear sometime, we dig animals, so just drop us a card or so, and we'll be glad to hear from you. In just a moment, panel, you'll have a chance to make the connection between our guest star tonight, Xavier Cugat, and another gentleman. However, right now, let's see if we can make connections with Elsie's Good Food line and a wonderful Borden product.
After all these years, a cup of coffee with real, deep-down coffee flavor. It takes a special blend and gentle heat. It takes gentle heat to achieve a rich roast for deeper coffee flavor. And Borden's did it. It took years to perfect, but Borden's Rich Roast coffee is ready now for deeper coffee enjoyment with your family and friends. It's at your store now. New Borden's Rich Roast Instant Coffee.
He's the devil.
You know, you can't beat Borden's when it comes to good food products. It's a great organization. Now, panel, if you're real good, I will toss each of you a grape.
We peel first,
so that you are obedient
Did
and...
you see that?
What's that?
Caught it.
Yes, good for you.
Yeah, but
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have our special guest tonight, the man who made America Roomba conscious, Mr. Xavier Cugat. Mr. Cugat.
You won't have any trouble with this one. This one is
No,
civilized.
good for you. It almost looks like Zoo Parade here tonight. I understand you have a very interesting summer planned for yourself. Can you
Well-
tell us a little about it?
We are finishing our engagement tonight at the Waldorf. We still have 2 shows there today.
Mm-hmm.
And tomorrow we're leaving for Europe.
Yes.
And we're going to concert tides all over, Paris, Rome, Milan, and then my wife is going to make a picture in Rome.
Wonderful. Well, we'll certainly wish you bon voyage and hope you have a very successful tour.
Merci, merci, vous êtes très gentil.
Sure I am. Now, let's meet the second half of your connection. And it is indeed a wonderful pleasure for us tonight to have not only Mr. Cugat, one of America's most popular musicians, but one of the all-time greats in the music business, Mr. Vincent Lopez.
You have a seat?
Thank you.
Vicente, estoy muy contento que usted esté en este programa de televisión con nosotros.
Hasta la vista de nada.
How are things over at the Taft Grill, Vince?
Well, the same as when you were there as the announcer 15 years ago.
Yes, well, you know, it was 8 years ago, but he likes to exaggerate anyway. It's been a long time since I've been there. I must drop in on you soon one of these days and see how things are going there.
Well, I know things are doing very well with you.
Yes, I thank you, sir, for those kind words. I think we ought to get right to the business at hand here now. For the benefit of our audience, let's make the connection.
Vincent Lopez introduced Mr. Cugat to his wife, Abby Lane.
All right, panel, here is your link. This is something Mr. Lopez did for Mr. Cugat. And let's begin the questioning with Eddie Bracken.
Something Mr. Lopez did for Mr. Cugat.
Precisely.
Mr. Cugat, did this make you happy that Mr. Lopez has made you happy? Mr. Lopez.
Just call me Vincent.
Vincent?
Yes, Eddie.
I remember that. A long time ago.
Eddie, that's Lopez speaking.
Is that Lopez speaking? Well, tell me, Lopez, as you speak, did he gain anything by this, what you did for him?
I imagine so.
And he was happy about it. Was it something tangible, something you could hold in your hands?
Yes.
Do you still have this thing, Mr. Cugat? I take it it's unusual to have this for any length of time. Is that it?
I refuse. No, I don't think. No, certainly there's nothing unusual in that. That's $25 down to go, and $125 to go. Oh, you threw me with that last one, Eddie. Betty, what questions do you have on your little mind?
You're so right. Mr. Cugat, is this, Mr. Lopez helped you get hold of something that you use in the music business. Is that correct?
Help you get hold of something that you use in your business, in the music business.
Yeah.
I would certainly.
Yes.
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 Is it something you wave in front of the musicians by any chance?
Well, sure. No, she means like a baton.
Yes.
I believe the answer to that is no, Miss White.
But this thing that you acquired, is it something that actually makes music?
Sure.
Is it something you shake, like maracas or something?
At times, yeah.
I don't feel I'm I'm gaining on you. I don't know. Is it a rhythm instrument?
Let the dog answer that one. That's $50 down and $100 to go. And you, sir, what questions do you have?
Mr. Cugat, se provocano se le tiendono vototo se già rototici Abbey Lane.
Tiene algo que ver con Abbey Lane, sí.
Abbey Lane, see. What in the world he
As a
said?
matter of fact, you're pretty close to it. Do you want to embroider that?
Did Mr. Lopez introduce you to
He
Abbey
did.
Lane?
That's the connection. Good for you. Vincent, if my memory is correct, and if you say I go back as many years as you do say I go back, and I must admit I do, Abbey Lane sang for you at one time, didn't she?
Yes, Abbey Lane was Abby Marshall in 1952, and I was on another network, and it was a television show. She was my vocalist.
Mm-hmm.
And one afternoon, I met Coogie, and I said, how about going on the show for me?
Yeah.
And Coogie, we've known each other for many, many years. He said, why, of course. And that night, Coogie appeared in a television show of mine, and all he did was watch Abby, paid no attention to me. And
You blame me?
At the finish of the program, he wanted the telephone number. A week later, I gave him the telephone number, and eventually he made the connection.
And you've been happy about it ever since, haven't you, Mr. Cugat?
And how?
And I don't blame you one bit. And now, ladies and gentlemen, a real treat for all of us. Here she is in person, one of the most exciting personalities in the entertainment world, that singing sensation, Abbey Lane. Are you excited about this trip to Europe?
Very excited. You know, it's my first chance for a real dramatic part because I'm going to act in a new film over there,
What's it called?
Young Carmen.
Has nothing to do with old Carmen, does it?
No.
You remember old Carmen, don't you?
I remember old Carmen.
But is there any music in this at all?
No, this is not a musical. It's just a straight dramatic thing. I'm very wild and tempestuous, you know.
Sure you will.
What?
I know you will.
Oh, yes, I will.
Listen, as long as...
She's been rehearsing for the last 2 months.
I'd like to point out that as long as all of us musical people, and I am musical, last week I played the guitar in this program, as long as we're here, it would be a crying shame to let you go without performing for us. Could you sing for us tonight?
Well, I'd love to, but I need an orchestra.
Well, the orchestra, what can we do?
Don't worry about the orchestra. See, they want you to sing. I have all of the instruments in back of this big wall here. Would you fly the flat, please? And let's take a look at the instruments and
tell me that
walk
my
over
boys
here.
are there.
Yes, no, the boys aren't back here. Hello there. Would you go and pull the thing and away we go. I'll lift it up myself if I had a healthy liver. There we
Well,
go.
here we are.
Here we are. Here are the instruments over here.
Oh, this is nice.
We've got all the stuff over here, and we do have to have someone to play them. Group, would you?
You're kidding.
Sure you would, wouldn't you? No, they're good sports, aren't they? That's right, and you stand over there. All right. Here's Vincent Lopez at the piano. Now, Coogie, could you give each person an instrument and give them an idea of what tempo you want and how to play them,
I'll tell you
beginning
what.
with Betty White?
This is, you scratch it like this, see? Give me the downbeat, see, the downbeat.
Try it.
Not even itchy.
Scratch it, scratch it.
That's right.
There.
Very good.
There you go.
Try a little bit
The
now.
downbeat.
I sang with a band for years. That's the only thing I know how to do.
No. How about this one? The downbeat with the right arm. See, and then fill it with this.
Oh, you
Just
wanna
the
come
downbeat, the downbeat. And you with, I don't know what to do with this. Just shake them. In tempo.
All right, what can you do for me here? I gotta play one of these.
No, let's get it. Let's get it in tempo.
easy.
This way. 1, 2, 1.
Let me tell you. Oh.
Anyone for candy apple?
Doesn't bother me, bother me, bother
You've got
me, bother me.
the right flavor there. Well, that was fun. And now we've got a little more pleasure in store for you here. I got a note from Elsie. She reminds me that it's well worth your while to watch your screen closely right now.
Borden's milk, Borden's milk. Why do more mothers buy Borden's milk? Borden thinks first of the child so small. Pledges their health needs are first of all. Borden's milk, Borden's milk. Pure, rich, and wholesome is Borden's milk. Little ones thrive on it, that is why more mothers buy Borden's milk. Pure, rich, and wholesome is Borden's milk. Little ones thrive on it, that is why more mothers buy Borden's milk. Oh boy, Borden's!
Look forward to what lies ahead.
Next, the rare pilot for will have you saying, wow, then an original unseen that's two for you. Stay tuned.
All right. And there's a good word from Borden's. And now it's time to have a brief good night here from our panel who did quite well tonight. In my books, you were okay. Good night, panel. All right. Okay. We hope you'll be able to join us again next week at the same time, same station, when we invite you to Make the Connection.
This has been a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production. Transportation for Make the Connection was arranged by American Airlines, the country's leading airline. American Airlines serves 77 major cities. They will fly you in luxurious comfort aboard DC-7 flagships. Make the Connection has been brought to you by Borden's, who invite you to try some other fine products on Elsie's Good Food line. As Elsie says, if it's Borden's, it's got to be good. Be sure to see Borden's popular daytime show, the dramatic series called Way of the World, now on at a new time. Check your paper for the new time of Way of the World over many of these same stations. And be with us again next week when Borden's presents Make the Connection.
Ready to play?
1, 8, 2.
Say it again.
1,
8,
2.
Classic concentration.
You know it.
1,
8, 2.
1,
8.
2. You having fun?
Yeah.
1,
8,
2. You're a champ. 1,
8, 2.
select again. Go ahead. 1,
8, 2. 1,
8,
2.
Scott?